Hey, everybody out there. How are you doing today? I hope your day has been wonderful and fabulous. This is Dr. G, your success psychologist, and I am coming to you to tell you it's time to change your mind. I'm here to transform your mind. So make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, and make sure you share this valuable information because my gift to you is to bring you the knowledge that I have learned over the last 30 years. 30 years of my life dedicated to understanding humans, understanding why y'all do what y'all do. That includes me. I have to ask myself those questions as well. But helping you to understand how to get to the place that you want to be, how to unblock the psychological barriers. And guess where? That starts here. It all starts with your mind. It all starts with what you tell yourself. It all starts with what you believe. So, throughout my course of 30 plus years in really studying people and humans, what's real funny to me is that in the field of psychology and as a psychologist, everybody out there believes that they are. They think that they are because they are human. So human people think they know about human behavior. And so a lot of times it's funny that I find myself having to say, well, I spend years researching and daily I am studying things about the brain and humans and why we do what we do. Success comes in a system. And this system has been set in motion for thousands of years. You have to understand, we didn't just create the success system. The people that have reached a level of success that you know about are generally in the 5% category. And 5% of the people are doing the things that they want to do and living the kind of life they want to live. The rest of everybody, guess what we're doing? We're sitting back watching them and talking about their life. We talk about their life, be it good or bad, our feelings and our opinions, based on the fact that our life hasn't gotten there. So, because we're not where we want to be, we spend a lot of time looking at a lot of other people and giving our opinions on their life. Guess what? I'm going to help you switch that and change that. Because when you start on your own success journey, you're not going to have time to be looking at what everybody else is doing or either comparing yourself. So, as we walk through these journeys of understanding success and how to transform your mind into something completely different, I am dedicated. I am here. This is my calling. This is what God has called me to do with my life, is to help you on your journey of life and to help you change your life. So, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I am going to be here and I'm going to teach you each and every step of the way. As you know, and you become more and more familiar with Dr. Gladney, Dr. G, you will see that I absolutely love definitions and understanding real words and what they really mean, because that helps the brain to process that information. So today we're going to be talking about success in 3D. We all know what 3D is. When you go to the movie theater and you put on those 3D glasses, it gives you a totally different experience about the objects and the things around you. Now we live in a world of virtual reality, so it's not as I guess intriguing as it was when I was growing up. But 3D is something in different dimensions. So I'm giving you success today in 3D. Now remember, you always need a piece of paper and everything so you can write this down, so you can write it in your brain and reprogram it. That's what it's all about. Reprogramming that mind. Okay. Success in 3D. I'm going to give you these 3Ds and we're going to talk about them. The first D is you have to have a dream. The first D stands for dream. So the dream is to see or imagine in your sleep or in a vision. That's the definition. To see, to imagine in a dream or a vision. So what I want to grab on today for you is your imagination. Remember when you were a kid and your imagination would run wild? Literally, your imagination was wild. You could sit on a rock outside and imagine that you were flying in an airplane. You could sit on the rock and imagine that you were an astronaut or that you were on the sea, on the sea in a boat, in a yacht. I used to sit outside and I would line up rocks all along the way, and I would imagine that I was their teacher. Isn't that cool? Way back then, I was teaching to rocks. I've always wanted to teach people things about life and living. My imagination took me there, and I was actually teaching my whole classroom. But you know how wonderful, and how many out there had imaginary friends? Oh, I know you did. Don't be ashamed of your imaginary friend. We all had one. We would sit and talk to her or him or them. We would play with her or him or them. Now, if you had siblings like I did, you didn't have to do it as often because you had real people to play with, but still you have this imaginary person that you talk to. Some of you still have an imaginary person. Don't listen. Don't. I'm not judging here. Just saying. I'm just trying to help you understand that imagination is a part of it. And we don't imagine things like we used to because now our brains are filled with stuff and crap and the stuff that you see and read, and it's all in your spirit. And okay, that's for another one. That's another session. But you have to have a dream and you see the vision. What is the vision that you see for your life? Now you know what's big: vision statements, vision boards. And so it is important to have a vision. And I can remember in high school making, and you know what? I wish we would have kept all that stuff. We didn't know how important that was because they didn't call them vision boards back then. It was a collage, and we made a collage about our life. That's what it was called when I was growing up. And I can remember on my collage that I had been married, and I was married. I had on there going to college. Of course, I went 12 years. I didn't put that down. I didn't really see that, but that happened. Um, I saw the cars. You know, we were cutting things out of the magazines and putting them on there. The speaking, me speaking all over the nation and doing all of the, I had all of that on my collage. That's the importance of vision boards, is because what do you see for yourself? That first D that you have to have for success is the dream, that vision. What do you see for yourself? And we did one episode that talks about how do you define your success. So if you didn't see that, go back and look at that because that will help you to get that dream. That's the first D. The second D is the big word that is so hard for human beings to do. You know what that is? Have discipline. To discipline yourself. Discipline. Okay, when you think of discipline, it takes on many different phases. But let me read the definition. As a noun, it is an activity, an exercise, or regimen that develops or improves a skill. So when some of you that are working out in the gyms like you, we work out or exercise, when you're disciplined enough to get that done and you have activity and a routine and you get it done. The other part of discipline as a verb is to bring to a state of order and obedience by training and control. Now, generally, we think of, oh, the discipline that goes on, let's say in the military. We see that boot camp. We see, it's regiment strict. And they bring about that discipline because they have that level of order and control. Or the discipline that your parents imparted on you or that you impart on your kids. And you say, oh, I'm going to discipline them. And normally we think of discipline in a negative way because discipline means, oh, you're going to get it. And I know I grew up getting disciplined too. Listen, I grew up before it was called anything with CPS and everything. I grew up old fashioned. So, yes, I got whoopings when I was growing up, that discipline, because I wasn't doing something. And the reason was to bring obedience about. But I want to take that inward. I want you to understand the discipline for yourself and to bring about obedience. Obedience for yourself, not anybody else having to tell you what you need to do. Discipline is understanding that I need to be able to do this. So you have a dream, a vision, and now you're going to have to discipline yourself in order to get that done. I've had my own business now for 30 years. Now, do you think for over 30 years, actually, can you imagine what kind of discipline that I've had to integrate into my life in order to get this done? All the way, I had 4 kids. Yes, 4 kids along the way. I was having my children and running a business and doing a lot of things while I was working on my PhD, my doctorate degree. So I had 3 young kids that were 3, 2, and 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. I had these kids while I was running a business, while I was going to school. You're talking about being disciplined and having that vision that I saw for myself, writing it all down, having the goals, putting that together, and the discipline of obedience to myself in order to get it done. So that's the second D. You gotta have a dream, discipline, and the last D is dedication. Now, let me read you the definition of dedication. To devote wholly and earnestly as to some person or purpose. To set apart and consecrate to a deity or to a sacred purpose. So we hear dedication, and that means that you are tied to that thing. Are you tied to your purpose? Are you tied to your goals? You have to be tied to your vision. Whatever that looks like for you in order to be successful. So now when you become dedicated to something, you know what that means? And I could have put so many D's in here, but I've been talking about the success in 3D for a long time. You know what it means? You got to get rid of some distractions. There are distractions that are all around you. The disciplined people are able to see the distractions. And they say, you know what? That's distracting me. I got to get rid of it in order to be dedicated and disciplined to their dream. So, review. Success in 3D. You have to have a dream, drive. You have to have a dream. Yeah, you got to have a drive too. You have to have a dream. You have to have discipline. And you have to be dedicated. But I can put some more in there. You do have to have drive and determination. It's a lot of D's, but I wanted to say 3D, success in 3D. So there you have it. Remember, If you want success, there it is in 3D. Until next time, I want you to go after it. Remember the 3Ds. This is Dr. G with your guide to the psychology of success. Have a great one. Until next time, like, subscribe, and share.